And welcome to the Pro League Hype Show with me, your host, Giles Thomas, exclusively for NPC News Online. And we are here to talk about the exciting new pro event, the Boston Pro Show. And of course, who else would we have but Jay Cutler to help us?
Hey guys, how are you?
Jay, first of all, good morning, mate. Thank you so much for coming on the Pro League Hype Show. It's always great to catch up. So, yeah, I think East Coast bodybuilding fans have really got a big reason to be excited this March 12th.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because this is kind of a long time coming. We actually planned this event a year ago, and it got postponed. And where else is a better place? I mean, as you know, Boston's kind of a hotbed where a lot of bodybuilders came out of Boston, Massachusetts, including myself. We still have Jose Raymond out there, and he's been a huge part of my success in my contest. I promote 2 shows out there alongside of Steve Weinberger. So when David came together and wanted to put together this Boston Pro Show, of course, he called Steve and myself, and we're trying to help to really get this thing off the ground. Of course, a week after the Arnold Classic, and as we know, it's one of those years where the Arnold is really hyped because the prize money is its biggest ever. We have a lot of great names going into that show, but it's not too far from Ohio, which is great. It's a great time of the season. And a lot of great prizes. I mean, first prize for the men's bodybuilding is getting a truck, a Ford truck, and $12,500, which is awesome.
Wow. So it's literally like the days when you were winning the Arnold Classics and they were giving away Escalades and Hummers. And that's so exciting.
Giving away the trucks. I mean, I think you can kind of see the trucks in the background back there. Those are my toy trucks. So it's pretty exciting time. The contest is the 12th. It's going to be at the Sheraton in Boston. We have, the list of the pros that are already pre-registered on there on the website. It's just, bostonpro.com. You can see a lot of the faces. But as you know, a lot of these guys are prepping for the big show, and, they're kind of preparing for that. So we've got a lot of interest in that. And also between the men's physique and the women's classes, and we also have the performance by AKON happening. All the tickets are available on the website. It is going to be a one-day contest. And, the AKON show will be separate, of course, as a VIP event after all the shows are taking place. We have faces like Tito Ortiz is coming, Ronnie Coleman, myself, Phil Heath. I got confirmation today that Brandon Curry is showing up.
Fantastic.
So, I mean, there's a lot of great Flex Wheeler is going to be in the house. And, of course, myself, which is awesome. I mean, Boston's one of those crazy places for fitness and bodybuilding. I think the event's going to be actually huge. So,
I mean, I think even just from the Instagram with all the posts and all the celebrities and all the baseball players and basketball players and all they've not started small with this event. They've really pushed the boat out for the very first year.
No, and what's really nice is that the marketing side is going to be spectacular because there's a lot of the media involved in Boston. And as you know, Boston is one of the most iconic sports states, where a lot of people are in Massachusetts or New England, it's a huge sports, a lot of sports fans. And there'll be a lot of coverage outside of the normal bodybuilding media channels, which is really huge. There's a phone number on the website also for anyone that wants to get more information. And it's like I said, the feedback has been phenomenal. The Ticketmaster is selling all the AKON tickets, which is really cool. I mean, AKON is one of those, he's an iconic figure in the music industry. So a lot of people are like, man, how is that going to take place? And, he's going to perform, I think, at 11 on Saturday. And then, we have, the events happening, the VIP and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
So how did it come around, the whole collaboration is it David, the promoter? Because they kept directing me to you and they said, look, Jay's our guy. He's the one. He's our voice,
Yeah. So we had been speaking for quite some time and obviously I've been around the business for a long time. Competed in a lot of contests. Like I said, I head up a couple of shows over there alongside of Steve. So Steve is going to run the contest, meaning we're going to use his staff, who's absolutely phenomenal. As you know, they run the New York Pro and all the Team Universe, all those contests. So, I mean, he has the experience. And obviously, his crew kind of helps out with all our stuff in Massachusetts, him being the district chairperson out there. So I just feel that, they were able to kind of collab with me to, really kind of get in the mix of, get some of these pros involved. I know Andre Ferguson's really helping out on the men's physique side, and that contest, they're giving out $10,000. I mean, I think it's $7,000 for first for men's physique, which is really substantial.
Yeah.
And it's going to draw a lot of faces for that. And as you know, that division's continuing to grow, and we have a lot of interest, and I think that having me in that circle to try to really get the word out there, and obviously that's why we're doing this interview. So. Listen, the truck giveaway is like a plus, right? I mean, everyone, I know if I was competing, I mean, it's crazy that the Arnold, they're going to pay $200,000 for first. And of course, training for these contests, no one's thinking about second, third, or fourth, right? Nope. I mean, there's a lot of guys, I'm watching Regan Grimes train here in Las Vegas, and, and he's actually going to enter this contest, and, he's on his way up, and, get the Brandon Williams showdown again at the Arnold, which is going to be awesome. And, of course, Steve Kukalo is hungry for that title. I did, mention to Steve, and I'm hoping to get him over to Boston, too. There's a lot of great faces and some of the new guys coming in, which is great.
It was very smart having it 1 week after the Arnold, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's hot. I mean, I remember when I used to do the Arnold Classic, we had like San Francisco Pro after and all these other events. And, listen, these shows paid, it was like $10,000 or whatever, but it was also another title. And, I sit in my office now, and I kind of reminisce about these years, because as you know, I was always one to compete in the early shows, and then I would lead into the Olympia and battle with Ronnie, because it was the shows he was not competing in, and he was really the only one holding me back from winning the biggest titles. But a lot of great memories. And I just love the fact that, like, being a part of history in Boston, that's kind of where I started training. And, I watched Matarazzo and Paul DeMeo and all the greats out there.
Boston,
and we, I always felt like we trained harder out there, especially once I moved to the West Coast. I always talked about that work ethic, trudging through the snow, and, we had some cold winters out there. So, it's a really hotbed for, I feel bodybuilding and fitness, and now with the growing classes and women's wellness. I mean, it's just, there's so many new categories that are going to allow this to expand, and the coverage is the key. And I feel like David and his crew and some of the sponsors that they got coming in, it's really going to put a very positive eye on bodybuilding and this contest. And this is the beginning of a great thing there. And, we just plan to continue to build this thing to become one of the iconic shows of the season.
I think in the last year or so, I think we've seen a real kind of level up, like with the big LED screens at these events. And now you have new events like this that aren't starting small. And I mean, he doesn't have to pay that money or whatever to have in someone like AKON. I mean, it's just a bonus to what will already be an incredible show, giving away trucks, giving away decent prize money and good promotion, and bringing all these celebrities in like yourself and from all these other sports. He's like, they're really going above and beyond for this. And I really like that about how the Pro League events are now going.
Yeah. And it's kind of a cool thing that myself, Coleman, Phil Heath, Flex Wheeler, all of us in one place. Yes. Like, it's been a long time since we've been in one place to be able to not only catch up, but, a lot of history in the past, 15 years are circled around that longer, almost 20 years of competitive, remember Wheeler almost won the Mr. Olympia, and then, Ronnie came in, and then of course I kind of took over, and then Phil Heath came up with me. So it's really iconic in that sense. And I think that's going to give a lot of the fans the opportunity, because we just don't get into a lot of places at the same time. And, you'll see as we're hyping up the show, it's, and then to have some of the new faces like the Currys and, hopefully get some of those Arnold guys over there, and we can see the rise of Regan, and it's just going to be cool to be on stage and be part of that whole thing.
I'd like to make a suggestion. I think you need to take your new podcast equipment to Boston, and I think you need to get a couple of extra mics, and I think you need to get Ronnie, Phil, and Brandon. I think you need to get them on a table, because I tell you what, imagine that as a round table with you legends.
Well, man, there's a lot to talk about, and the stories seem to come out. I think that's what people are enjoying about all these podcasts now, is because, remember, the magazines only spilled so much information, right? So when you get someone into a room and you start asking the right questions, and you yourself, being in the media, sometimes you want to get away from the normal questions like how you trained and what you ate, and get more inside the head of someone like myself or Ronnie or Phil or, Flex and these guys. And obviously we've been through adversity, since competing, especially like Wheeler and Ronnie himself. And, everyone's wondering what Phil's next move is, what's on his agenda. I've been on the Instagram lately kind of teasing him a little bit, and saying how many meals you eat, and trying to get him fired up,
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of great history. And, it's, these shows are coming out of the woodwork now, and it's giving guys opportunity not only to, get some notoriety, but also, gather up some decent prize money and, get another title under their belt and be part of history. And that's really, when you look back on my career, I realize now how much all this meant, right? And all the contests I did. I kind of wish I competed a little more in some of the other shows, because I only did a couple of the European tours, and, I never went to Australia to compete at the Arnold for Tony Doherty's show. And, I wish there was a little more opportunity. That's all that I took advantage of. But you know what? Let these guys make the history, and, the Boston Pro will have their first winner this year. And hopefully it will continue to be a trend in the future.
Funny personal memory. I was talking on another podcast recently about, and I said, there's a fun fact here. I said that people think that the first real clash between Jay and Ronnie was at the 2001 Olympia when he really challenged him. I said it wasn't. It was at the 2000 British Grand Prix. And even before you and Ronnie stepped on stage, Kerry Kays, the promoter, said, Giles, he says, watch out for Jay. And I said, what? The guy just took 8th at the Olympia. I said, he's not gonna come close to Ronnie. And he says, no. He said he's dropped about 10, 12 pounds. He said he looks sensational. I've seen him. And then you walked on stage and you took 2nd to Ronnie. That was actually the first real clash between you two, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? For the first time, that was where my confidence was like, wow, I can actually stand with this guy. Because it's really before Ronnie made the huge jump. I mean, in 2003, he changed the game a little bit, but in 2000, for me, I got lucky, and all the guys didn't go on the tour that finished ahead of me other than Ronnie himself. So when I was able to stand 1-2 with him, I finally got that comparison, because when you're 8th at the Olympia, you don't get that comparison, but the 8th place qualifies you for the next year. It was top 10, if you remember.
That's right.
So we didn't have as many shows as there are now. And, I was able to travel over there, not only pick up, more confidence, but also I picked up quite a bit of prize money, and quite honestly, that put me in a really solid place to lead into 2001, financially and by confidence, to be able to stand there. And I knew, going into 2001, I kind of predicted that it would be me and Ronnie standing there at the end, and that's what happened. So
it wasn't actually in Las Vegas; it was rainy Manchester the year before.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and Chris Aceto was there. And
I was there.
I don't think you were in a media necessarily then, right?
I'd been doing what I've been doing in the UK for about 5-6 years, writing for magazines, but I hadn't really. It was about 10 more years before I kind of went international.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the crowd was awesome there, and I have a lot of great memories. Kerry was always great to me. He took care of me to fly over there, actually. Which was rare. Yeah, he told me, I'll cover your expenses to come, and that's the reason I came over there, and I was able to take advantage. So, a big shout out to Kerry Kays, man. He's a great, great man.
I mean, nowadays we have such great promoters. Like even through COVID, in the last couple of years, we've had like Freddie Nadeau at the Texas Pro. With what's his partners? Angelica Texera.
Angelica Texera, yeah.
Yeah, you got Chris Minns, who's absolutely exploding, and now we have this new David with partnering with yourself to bring on this Boston Pro. I tell you, I think the Pro League and the events right now are in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, and what I like about it is, like, we talk about the entertainment value, and that's, people would question, like, okay, well, why don't we just stick straight to bodybuilding? But as you know, I mean, that's what's really going to draw outside people also, especially with the newer divisions.
Yeah.
We want to get more eyes on it. So, having someone like an AKON perform and getting more of a general public there to witness, what goes on stage. And, and I know that, a lot of these shows now, they're talking about doing build-ups to the contest. I know the Arnolds are kind of working to, film some people and do some pretty cool stuff.
I saw that, and I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the battle for the Olympia was like legendary, right? The problem is with today's media, we can't have, okay, let's do a video series. It needs to be like immediate, right? So that's what social media, if the guys aren't great on their social media, we don't see the transitional things that go on. And I think that's one thing I can always, try to, tell people that are competing, whether it's the men or women's side, you have to stay on your media, let people into your life a little bit, let them know the challenges, let them know, the positive days and, the days that aren't so good, because listen, it's not every day. I always say every day isn't a rock star day, right? We have our ups and downs. And I think, when you get on stage and you put that final package out there and, your confidence is high and you get out there to the music or whatever you do, that really, that isn't the true experience of what it takes to get there, right? The transition of the 12 or 20 weeks. Yep. It takes a lot. And you've been alongside of that. You've seen it many transition and things go great and then they might fall to the wayside. But, there's a lot of great experience to train for a contest. And unfortunately, there can only be one actually first place winner, but there's a lot of people on that stage that go through a lot of adversity to stand there. And, this is just another outlet for them to be able to present that. So more shows, the better.
Yep.
It's going to help IFBB Pro League expand. And I know worldwide, there's a lot of great things happening now. It's expanding all over the world. And, I'm very, very happy to be part of it. I'm glad that, I was an early pioneer of what went on. But man, like Arnold Classic, Boston Pro, I mean, it's the kickoff of the season. And, I can't wait to see what these guys look like. I'm excited. I get excited to watch.
Fantastic.
Because I don't have to do the dieting and the training necessarily like you,
Just show up and give the keys away to the new truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So tell me, you're going to be there with your supplement brand?
I'll be there pretty much just kind of floating around. I mean, the supplement thing, of course, I'm always out there promoting that. It's going extremely well.
Good.
And, I'm more there just to be a part of the fans' experience and, help with whatever needs to be, positive for the event. And that's kind of what I do these days. I'm very limited how much I travel. As we know, the expos have slowed down quite a bit. And I'm not really traveling overseas that often. So for me, it's I'm excited about the kickoff for this. And that rolls into, I have my show in April there the next month. And then I have another one in October. But, I do 4 events a year now with the Jay Cutler name.
Wow.
So it's really, really cool to be able to do that. I have my other one in Vegas in April and then I do Virginia in August. So it's going to be a great comeback year, I feel. I know we've had some setbacks the last couple of years. Like I mentioned, the show was supposed to take place last year. So we're really excited about it happening.
And on another note, you were definitely ahead of your time when you moved to Vegas, because now that is just absolutely it's just the new mecca of bodybuilding. Everyone seems to be flocking there. And you were the first. You and Sean Ryan.
Yeah, I was the first. Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys, Paul Dillette lived here. You probably don't realize Chris Cormier was here. But I came here for real estate and tax reasons. I mean, I was in California, originally from the East Coast, but I mean, the Gold's Gym now have become EOS Fitness, and there's a lot of new gyms. As you know, Flex opened up around the corner, and a lot of people are coming out to experience that. that kind of environment. And yes, we have a lot of great champions now that come to Las Vegas and want to experience it. I mean, listen, the weather is pretty even here. It's not one of those places where there's a lot of natural disasters. I mean, the winters are a little cooler than what people expect, and the summers are a little hotter than what they expect.
It was funny because sorry, Dan Solomon did a video, and he said it was around Christmas time, and he says, "Okay, guys, I'm going for my morning walk." He says it's pretty chilly here, and I was thinking we got snow up against our window here, like so. It just made me laugh. I was like, cold. It's probably like 70 degrees.
Yeah, Dan's been out quite a bit, and as you know, the Olympia is going to happen in December.
Yes.
Planet Hollywood. So that's an awesome theater. I've been to the Miss America there, and it's going to be a hell of a show. So everyone, of course, is trying to get their qualification for that. We have a lot of guys qualified, but I'm curious to see what the big showdown is going to be. You know, I kind of miss the days where, you know, it was like Kai and Phil and myself and Ronnie. I want to see, like, is it still going to stay the Brandon Rami show, right? Or are we going to see some new faces in there? I think we're due for a breakthrough at this point. We saw Hunter and Nick Walker breakthrough last year, but you know, here those guys are doing the smart thing. They're preparing solely for that contest, and you know, we're going to see how it plays out, man. It's going to be a hell of a show in December.
Jay, I can testament to that because I was at the 2001 Olympia. I was at that one. Came over as a fan with my friend, and that was an amazing. So finally, Boston Pro, what are you personally most excited for with this event?
I am most excited for, you know, Boston to get on the map. I mean, a lot of times people have asked me about having a pro show there.
Yep.
And it's just a huge opportunity for this event to take place. And like I said, it's been a little bit of a sideline last couple years when it comes to there's a little bit of you know, uncertainty, right, when it comes to competing. But I think this year we're going to get, you know, people finally like straightforward knowing, okay, I'm going to be able to do these contests. I'm not going to be, you know, it's not going to be the chance that I can't do this. And I think that's really what I'm looking forward to is the positivity. I think this is going to be the biggest year in bodybuilding we've ever seen because of the last couple years. And you know, this is just a great way to kick it off. Yeah, I'm excited about seeing who wins this first place and in the car, and you know, and see some of these new divisions continue to transcend like the women's wellness. I mean, I'm curious to see who shows up there. For some reason, I enjoy watching the wellness class. It's because it's still kind of so new that so competitive, right? I mean, these girls are just, I don't know where they're coming from, but
Brazil.
It seems to be, yeah. I mean,
Brazil mostly.
There's a lot of great, you know, Yarishna. Hopefully she's going to get in this Boston Pro, and I mean, I'm excited to see what she can do this year. And man, these girls are really put together. But also, you know, the men's physique, man, these guys are coming up too. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, then we've actually got some giveaways for this event. The organizers, promoters, David has said he wants to. We're basically going to ask the question, what is Jay Cutler's favorite pose? And we want you to pick the winner. So we're going to, if you put the comments in the comment section, guys, we're going to be giving away 2 nights at the Venue Hotel, the Sheraton Boston Hotel, as Jay said, for March 11th and 12th. We have tickets to prejudging and finals. We have access to the Get Lucky room with Andre Ferguson. $50 coupon to use at Boston Pro Swag Shop, and watch AKON perform a small set during the finals, and 2 GA to the after party. I don't know what that means. I did ask, but they didn't respond. So do you know what GA means, or 2 GA?
Yeah, it's just, I don't think you get the actual, like, to mingle, like, too much with the, it's just general admission, meaning like you don't get the meet and greets, I think, with like the pros and that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so give your Jay Cutler's favorite pose and we will pick a winner, and you will get all that for the Boston Pro on March 12th.
That's an easy one. People should be able to pick that.
No, don't say anything. Don't say. Don't say. Jay, thank you so much for coming on the Pro League Hype Show. And I've said we're just so excited about this new event. Like last year, we had the Texas Pro, and now we've got all these new events, and not just in the USA, but all over the world. And like you said, it's been a tough couple of years, but still, they're managing to flourish and happen. And because I remember the disappointment when it was cancelled, and I obviously friends in the Boston area, they were so excited about this event, but now it's back on and it's coming. And it's going to happen 1 week after the Arnold Classic, and very, very exciting.
So when am I going to see you?
You'll see me possibly at the Arnold Classic.
Okay.
You can buy me lunch.
Okay.
Jay Cutler, thank you.
That.
Jay Cutler, 4-time Mr. Olympia, 2006 to 2010. Thank you so much for coming on the Pro League Hype Show.
Thank you.